Welcome to the weekly Health RX by Arvasi. I'm Dr. Avanti Kumar-Singh.
And I'm Dr. Tanmeet Sethi. We're physicians trained in modern medicine and experts in Ayurveda. And each Sunday, we cut through the noise with physician-led, science-backed prescriptions personalized to your biology.
From your hormones and gut to your circadian rhythm and nervous system, we'll help you take care of the systems that matter most so you can stop guessing and start feeling better. Finally, medicine that fits you. Hello and welcome. This is your weekly Health RX for the week of October 26th. I'm Dr. Avanti Kumar-Singh.
And I'm Dr. Tanmeet Sethi.
So we're in what we're calling the paradox week. And if you've been feeling this weird tension in your body, like you can't quite settle, there's actually a reason for that.
Tell me about it. So here's what's happening in nature right now. The moon is waxing. It's getting brighter each night. But at the same time, we're losing daylight fast, several minutes every day. And this weekend, November 2nd, daylight savings time ends. We fall back. And suddenly it's dark by 5 p.m.
Yeah, I feel like it's such a strange feeling. You know, we have these two opposing energies going on. The moon is expanding, it's getting brighter, and the sun is contracting. And so your body is trying to navigate both of these things at the same time, right? Darkness is claiming the afternoon a lot earlier, but then there's this extra light that's sort of returning at nighttime. It's a little disorienting, to be honest.
Yeah, and on top of that, we just came through the Diwali last week, right, Avanti?
Yeah, it was so beautiful, but it's also a lot, you know, the late nights, all the food, you know, all the excitement, the lights, the celebration. It's a lot. It's very activating for the nervous system. And now we're heading right into, you know, the holidays here in Western culture. Halloween, Thanksgiving, December, right? All of the holidays, the New Year. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. And I see this in my practice every year, and I feel it in my own body. There's this feeling of I can't slow down, like the calendar is so packed. And it feels like the to-do list keeps growing because of that. And underneath all of it, there's this hum that never quite turns off.
Yeah, and that's what we call an agitated cortisol loop, right? This is exactly when it happens at this time of the year, in the middle of Vata season, when the world is very overstimulating outside and your nervous system really can't find its rhythm. You wake up tired, but wired. You are reactive with the people you love. You can't settle at night, right? Your nervous system is just really agitated, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And so this week, we're really working on calming that loop. We're going back to the practice that started everything this season in week 1, your morning light. And we're going much deeper into the specific practice that helps your nervous system find its rhythm again. Because without this, the loop stays agitated. And all the work you've done in October starts to unravel. And so, you know, really today what we're doing, Avanti, is really bringing this October arc of the fall season full circle, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I think it's really important to understand what we mean by this cortisol loop and why it matters so much, right? We started the month of October by explaining what the cortisol awakening response is, right? Every morning, about 30 to 60 minutes after you wake up, your body should produce a healthy surge of cortisol. And this helps you wake up. It's the awakening response. This is good cortisol, right? It gives you energy. It gives you focus. It gets you up and going. It gets your immune system online. And then throughout the day, cortisol should follow a natural rhythm. It should rise in the morning, like we talked about, and then gradually it should taper throughout the day and settle back down at night so that you can sleep. That's a calm cortisol loop. It has a rhythm. It has a flow, and it moves through this natural cycle smoothly when it's working correctly.
Right. But then when your nervous system stays on high alert, which could be from stress or not sleeping or overstimulation, like we were talking about in this season, the loop can lose its rhythm and become agitated. So cortisol can spike erratically. It might surge at 10 a.m. and then drop suddenly at noon or spike again at 3. Or worse, I feel for me is when it rises when I'm trying to wind down at 8 p.m. So the loop can become agitated, irregular, just you can feel out of sync. So let's talk about maybe a metaphor that might make it even more clear. Thinking of it like a washing machine. So in a healthy, calm system, the washing machine runs at a steady speed, a consistent temperature, and a predictable rhythm. It agitates gently when it needs to clean, and it moves through its cycle smoothly. You can hear it's working, but it's not alarming. It's doing its job calmly. But when your nervous system is dysregulated, the washing machine becomes agitated. It starts banging around. It's too fast one moment, too slow the next. The temperature spikes from cold to scalding. It's loud and erratic, and you can't predict what it's going to do next. And even though it's technically still running, it's not running well. It's agitated and unstable, and it's wearing itself out, which wears you out.
That's such a good example of what we're talking about. I think it just makes the idea so clear if you can picture that. And so this cortisol loop that stays agitated, it also brings along other things with it, right? Your blood sugar swings wildly. Your digestion gets irregular, your mood gets reactive, your sleep suffers, your hormones just can't find their rhythm. And remember, we talked about estrogen in weeks 2 and 3, that when cortisol is agitated in this way, estrogen can't be processed smoothly, and the whole system loses its flow and its rhythm.
Right. I mean, that's what I really love about this week is we're really talking about all of this, how it comes together, right? We started talking about our circadian rhythm, went into our hormonal balance, and then our gut microbiome. And now this way of calming this cortisol loop in our nervous system really helps all of this come into balance as we enter a very busy peak of fall season. Because research shows that a chronically agitated cortisol pattern is actually linked to burnout, anxiety, depression, weakened immunity, when you feel like you're getting sick all the time, and frankly, metabolic dysfunction. And so how do you calm it? How do you help that washing machine find its steady speed, a consistent temperature? You give your nervous system a calming signal every single morning with 2 tools working together, morning light plus a vagal tone practice. And these aren't optional. They're really medicine. They're prescriptions. And together they're more powerful than either one alone.
So if you think back to week 1 of fall, we taught you about morning light and how it can reset your circadian rhythm, right? When the light hits your eyes within the first hour of waking, this sends a signal to your brain to regulate that cortisol release and also will decrease melatonin. Every hormonal rhythm in your body is synchronized to the light. But here's what we didn't really fully get into yet, and we're going to get into more today. When you pair morning light with a dosha-specific vagal tone practice to settle your nervous system, you create a synergistic effect that calms that agitated cortisol loop. The light says, here's a signal, here's the rhythm to follow. The vagal tone practice says, okay, now let's settle the nervous system to actually follow that rhythm more calmly.
Exactly. And so let's talk about this really important vagus nerve, because this is the main nerve of your parasympathetic nervous system, that rest and digest part of your body. It's like the conductor that helps regulate the tempo and keep things calm. And when you activate it through specific practices, things like grounding touch or cooling breath or calming movement, you're literally sending a signal to your brain that says, you can find your rhythm now. You are safe. And this looks different for each dosha because each dosha's washing machine gets agitated in a different way. So for Vata types, your washing machine rattles and shakes. It's unstable and erratic from the beginning. So you need grounding before light to stabilize that machine. For Vata, Pitta, and Pitta types, your machine runs too hot often. So the temperature keeps spiking and making everything more agitated. So you need cooling during that morning light to bring the temperature down. And for Pitta, Kapha, and Kapha types, your machine is somewhat sluggish at times and barely runs. It's too slow and heavy often, which creates its own kind of agitation when you try to push it. So you need activation with that morning light to get it running at the right speed.
And so the vagal tone practice that we're going to talk about today completes your October morning protocol. It's what helps your nervous system find its calm, its natural rhythm, instead of staying agitated. And during the past few weeks, we've actually been building a really nice morning protocol week by week, right? Light gives a signal. That was what we talked about in week 1. Week 2, we talked about hydration and also the timing of your first meal. And then week 3, last week, we talked about what you should specifically be eating for your dosha. This week, the vagal tone practice is what actually helps everything synchronize, because it helps to calm that rhythm. It soothes the agitation of the cortisol loop. And so you've really just built a foundation over the past 3 weeks. And this week, with a vagal tone practice, you're kind of completing that morning protocol and really strengthening it. And so this week, we're going to dive a little deeper into that specific practice for your dosha. We're not just repeating what we said in week 1, we're actually going to teach you some nuances, how to refine it a little bit more, what to notice, the common mistakes, and how to make that practice even more calming and powerful to really help calm that cortisol loop.
Exactly. So in this week, week 4 of fall season, we have this simple prescription where you keep doing everything from weeks 1, 2, and 3, your morning light, your hydration, timing your first meal, and what to put in that first meal. And then this week, you're just deepening and refining the vagal tone practice that pairs either with or before your morning light, depending on your dosha. The timing of it also depends on your dosha. So it's really important to listen to that dosha-specific prescription so that you know exactly how to complete your October morning protocol. That protocol includes the morning light, this vagal tone practice, hydration, and food. So that's the stack. That's the morning protocol. And I know it can sound like a lot. So remember, perfection is not your goal. You just want to bring awareness to this process. And the more you do more of each step, the more you can notice what your body, your dosha, really needs and wants. Because then your washing machine finds its natural rhythm to run smoothly and calmly. And your whole nervous system can calm. And that really readies us for November. Avanti, I have to say, I'm feeling this paradox week in my own body. Are you?
Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you. I was already feeling it, I think, last week. You know, the days are getting shorter, and then I look at night and the moon is bright. And so my body doesn't know what to do, what signal to follow. And then you add on that, you know, the holiday, the Diwali, our holiday. And again, I think that my nervous system is just so activated, and I'm also anticipating what's coming in November and December. So I think that's also got me on high alert. So it's sort of like this, you know, weird thing. And plus I'm a Pitta Kapha, so it's like I'm all over the place right now.
Exactly. Well, I'm a Vata Pitta, so I was already erratic to start. And yeah, I feel the same way, you know, kind of just feeling overstimulated and just exactly what you said, that anticipation of all the things to come. It's really a lot for our nervous systems. You know, there's all this family expectation. Maybe there's hard emotions or grief with the season. I mean, there's just so much wrapped up at this time of the year. And so that's why I think this practice this week really matters so much, because we need that kind of calming signal. We need to tell our nervous systems, okay, you can find your rhythm again now. You can start over any moment. And honestly, even just going deeper into this practice for a few days this week, you'll feel it. Your body will teach you how much you needed this refinement and how much you needed some calming.
Yeah, you know, it's always so amazing how such a simple practice can be so powerful and have so much of an impact on how you feel. And so I really think, you know, that's something important for all of you to know, is that these might seem really simple, but they're really powerful. And so just make sure that you try to do them just a few times this week, you know, and see how you feel. Notice how you're feeling.
Exactly. So that's really week 4, calming the cortisol loop with this refined vagal tone practice. Now, let's talk about what this means specifically for you and your dosha.
Thanks for listening to the Weekly Health RX by Arvasi. Be sure to subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen so you never miss your weekly prescription.
And make sure to take the Arvasi Dosha Data Assessment at myarvasi.com, linked in the show notes, so you can unlock your biology and get your own personalized weekly prescription.